Hi, this is Charlene again, part of the executive of the Musselman Lake Residents Association. We're bringing you a series of discussions with Mr. Alec Cloak, who is the owner of United Soils Management. And this company is overseeing and providing the actual experience of the rehabilitation of the gravel pit on 9th Line, which most of us in the community have always known as Lee Sand and Gravel. Now, so far, Mr. Cloak, we've talked about what happens kind of behind the scenes, where the soil comes from, what happens on the other side of the fence. And I'm wondering if today, with Mr. Rick Wigmore, who's actually on camera with us, the president of the Musselman Lake Residents Association, I wonder if you would, with Mr. Wigmore, describe the actual impact on the community of this experience of the trucks bringing the fill in, thinking about dust and mud and so forth. And also, how did your company make the inroads? How are you making inroads to help secure your place in the community?
Okay. First of all, we have to understand, and I acknowledge it because I've been in this business a long time. Trucks are trucks. Yes. Truck traffic is truck traffic. Yes. And fitting in with the public is sometimes very difficult. But if you have to get something done, everyone has to learn how to coexist. So we go to do our best interests, our best efforts, yes, to exist with the public. We have to interact with them every day. It is very important to the town of Witchard-Stouffville, and we keep hearing the same terms. Dust, dirt, noise. That is the three topics that the engineering department is very, very
focused on and concerned
very
about.
Focused on, and yes, very has stringent rules about us cooperating and fulfilling what we're supposed to be doing.
Yes.
So, what the public sees as they drive by on the 9th, on our side of the gate, we've already discussed what we're doing on technically on the other side, but how we're coexisting is, first of all, we have certain hours of operation. We are not going to be operating on Saturdays. If we're going to disrupt the public, and I acknowledge that anything to do with a truck and anything to do with dirt is disrupting the public somewhat. We're not going to do that on their days off. Okay?
Very good.
It isn't going to happen.
Very good.
Saturday and Sunday work and,
right,
and the days, long weekend work is a no-no.
Right.
Okay? So this is Monday to Friday. We understand also that in the summertime people have their windows open and things like that, so there's certain hours of operation. No truck puts its box in the air or dumps or makes any noise on that property prior to 7 o'clock, ever. Those are the rules. Okay? A lot of the material that is coming to that site is coming from Toronto. And some of the sites in Toronto, if they're in industrial areas, are allowed to start fairly early.
Right.
So they can end up coming to our gate, right, and being there before 7 o'clock. To counteract that happening, we have established a rule with the town of Witchard-Stouffville that there's to be no trucks parked on the side of the 9th Line. Ever, 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 ever.
All right.
We have had to make arrangements that whatever number of trucks are working in any given day, right, from our customers can all queue up on our property.
Oh my.
So there's no disruption of back and forth traffic, especially when people are on their way to work.
Right.
And when people are on their way home from work.
Yes.
Trucks are strictly not allowed to park on the 9th Line. Rule number 2, as far as truck interacting with the public, no truck is allowed to arrive at our site by coming north on the 9th Line, south of Bloomington Road.
Oh, right.
There's specific truck routes. Yes. And they're basically standing, people got to understand also, the 9th Line is a regional road, it's not a town road, exactly, so people understand that.
Right.
But to get to our site, and most of the dirt that is coming to us is coming from south of us.
Right.
Has to come across Bloomington Road, and the only way of getting north to Bloomington Road, yes, is Highway 48, yes, and Highway 404. They land on Bloomington Road, they come to the 9th, and then they come north on the 9th to our property. No traffic is to be coming through the town of Witchard-Stouffville.
Nothing south of Bloomington, that's great.
No.
That's
So,
right.
and the town is very strict with that.
Yes.
If I want, this is a business, and this is my business, so I have to fit in.
Yes.
If I'm gonna get any cooperation and get any leeway with whatever disruption I cause
Sure.
from the public. So if they see that I'm doing my best,
Exactly.
then we get to coexist.
Exactly.
We give back to our community. We support local charities. We support anything to do with kids. We're
Yeah.
involved with some of the hockey programs. We have a public interest sign that's sitting on our property, notifying the public about local events, and we'll continue to do things like that. And as the community needs things, or some support, some financial support for certain events, mostly if it's got to do with kids, we're there as our community spirit.
Sponsors. That's amazing and wonderful.
Now, on a day-to-day basis, we have to be able to interact and communicate with the public. We're there and they're there, and if there's a problem,
Yes.
they have to be able to get to my business. I have chosen my routes of communicating with the people that live in Stouffville.
Yes.
3 different ways. The elected representative, who is Phil Bannon,
Right.
who is the person that represents the public in that neighborhood.
Ward 2.
That's
right.
one.
Mhm.
2 is the bylaws department,
Yes.
which is the official town complaint department. If you
Yes.
have something to say about my business,
Yes.
you can phone and talk to them. And thirdly, and not just on a complaint basis, but interacting and communicating and getting along as a neighbor,
Yes.
the Musselman's Lakes Residents Association through Rick. Those are the 3 entities that I recognize, and I will continue to recognize, to deal with the public.
That's a wonderfully comprehensive overview and helpful for all of us to understand how you're making your way into our community in a positive and constructive manner. Rick, perhaps you talk more to this.
Yes, I think it's very important that the residents understand that Alec reached out to us. You know, we had never heard of United Soils Management
No.
before that sign came up.
That's
So
right.
Alec reached out to the Residents Association, and he is totally transparent.
Yes.
He's had me sit in on some of the meetings he's had with his experts, and the amount of testing,
Yes.
the degree of testing,
Yes.
the knowledgeable experts that he's hired on this project has really impressed me. It's you know, the soil, protecting the water, and this is a win-win-win for our area, because basically we're going to take it, what is now, I would say, a dangerous piece of property,
Yes.
and make it safe.
Yes.
And make it safe for the people that own the property and for residents that happen to be near it or by it. Alec has gone above and beyond as far as road safety goes,
Yes.
too. We're not going to have any trucks out on the 9th line, which is huge. We're going to have mats that are going to clean the mud off the trucks. But not only that, Alec has gone out and bought new equipment for cleaning the 9th line.
Amazing.
So, I mean, I just look at this situation, I wish we had more business guys like Alec.
So what I'm hearing, and I know from our pre-talk, we did get together and talk somewhat, and I was really stuck on this perhaps because I'm a woman and I clean house, but the idea that you are advised by the bylaw, Alec, that you have to clean the streets, make sure the streets are clean. That's your responsibility. And I want to also make clear to a lot of our watchers and listeners that literally all of what you're saying about all of the extensive consulting groups and so forth that you're taking on, your company pays for. That's coming
for
out
sure.
of pocket.
Yes, for
As
sure.
well as what you're giving to the community back, as you were saying, volunteer giving back to the community. However, the cleaning aspect was, well, it was in there, it's a bylaw. I thought, well, that's nice. But then I realized through Rick that you've actually bought your own street cleaner, your own
Yes.
street sweeper, so that you don't have to rely on another company to bring it in
That's
when
right.
they're ready, but you will be able to go ahead and have that on the ready. Should there be a little bit of mud that gets spilled or whatever, if I understand, it's going to stay right at that site, is that correct?
Yes, it does, yes. It's right there.
That's a lot of money to invest to make sure that the community understand your intention. that, if I may say, your intention is to be the least amount of aggravation, the least amount of noise or dirt or problem, and the most accessibility. I'm very, very impressed that you've offered 3 opportunities for people not only with complaints but questions. Sometimes we forget there's a middle point between a cheerleading section and a complaint section, and that is, wait a minute, if I just formulate the question, if I go to the MLRA and ask Rick's opinion on this, if I go to the town and ask the town bylaw people, if I go to Councillor Bannon and ask Councillor Bannon, then I have a place where I can put my questions, and we welcome the questions. It doesn't matter how you think, well, I don't even know really what I'm questioning. Please just pick up the phone, call these people. That's what we're all here for, is to make it work for all of us.
Yes,
now,
but
Rick,
really we're encouraging one line of communication. So if they have a problem, phone the town. There are service representatives, and they will put the complaint through to the proper department.
okay.
So rather than a million people getting a call about the same thing,
Yes.
we're going to funnel it right through the town,
Great.
through their service department,
Great.
and they will get the proper people involved in whatever the complaint is.
Thank you so much again for the lovely chat. I just am more and more impressed and happy that we can all work together. A big business, environmental group, and group neighborhood association, residents association, everyone working toward the same goal, which is to improve the environment. Thanks again for listening. Bye for now.